Hello everyone, this is the third lecture on study of the first element, hydrogen, and in this lecture we will discuss properties of hydrogen. So first of all we will discuss the physical properties. So you know that hydrogen is colorless, odorless, non-poisonous, tasteless gas. Then it has low solubility in water, means it dissolves in a very small extent in water. Then it is highly flammable, so it should be handled carefully. Then it is non-supporter of combustion, so it does not support combustion, but it is highly flammable. Now it is the lightest known substance. The substance of all the substance, hydrogen is the lightest substance and its density is about 0.0899 gram per centimeter cube. So it has lowest density as it is the lightest known substance. Then it melts at about minus 259.2 degrees Celsius and boils at about 252.6 degrees Celsius. So you can see there is a very small gap in its melting and boiling point. Then it is very difficult to liquefy, that's why hydrogen is quite difficult to handle. Now we will discuss some chemical properties of hydrogen. So the first thing is combustion, means how does the hydrogen gas burn. So you can see hydrogen gas on burning, on combustion, it will combine with oxygen and will form water. So the combustion of hydrogen is pollution free. So you can say it because the product of the combustion of hydrogen is water only. The next is reaction of hydrogen with metal. So you have to see a trend that whenever hydrogen reacts with metal, it forms metal hydride. So I have already mentioned what is the meaning of hydride. So in hydrides, hydrogen has negative oxidation state. So with sodium, it will form sodium hydride. With calcium, it will form calcium hydride. Now the next is reaction with the oxides of metal. So with oxides of metal, it will remove the oxygen from metals. For example, CuO with hydrogen will form copper and H2O. Similarly, PbO on reaction with hydrogen, it can form Pb plus H2O. Now the next is reaction of hydrogen with non-metals. So let's see, hydrogen and nitrogen will react to form ammonia. The conditions for different reactions will be different. For example, in this reaction, the catalyst iron will be required and a promoter molybdenum, which enhances the performance of the catalyst. Now the temperature, you can see, that is about 450 to 500 degrees Celsius, and pressure, that is about 200 to 900 atmospheric pressure. Now hydrogen, when reacts with fluorine, it will form hydrogen fluoride. Similarly, H2 with Cl2, chlorine gas, it will form hydrogen chloride. Hydrogen with bromine will form hydrogen bromide, while hydrogen with iodine will form hydrogen iodide. So you must know that fluorine and chlorine, these two are gases, while bromine is a liquid. Iodine is generally found in the solid state. So you can see there are different circumstances. The reaction of hydrogen with fluorine takes place even in dark, while the reaction of hydrogen with chlorine and bromine takes place in the presence of sunlight, and reaction of hydrogen with iodine takes place at very high temperature. So you can see that reaction with fluorine is very easy, it doesn't even require the light, while the reaction of hydrogen with chlorine and bromine are quite difficult, and most difficult with iodine. Now let's see the reaction of hydrogen with oxygen. These are the examples of reaction of hydrogen with halogens. So with oxygen, it will form water, obviously. Then with sulfur, it will form H2S, that is hydrogen sulfide. Carbon will react with hydrogen and will form CH4, that is methane. Now if you talk about the reaction of hydrogen with unsaturated hydrocarbons, unsaturated hydrocarbons are generally alkenes and alkynes. For example, this is ethene. So ethene, when it reacts with hydrogen, we will use catalysts like nickel or platinum for the hydrogenation. There is a term called hydrogenation. Hydrogenation means addition of hydrogen to a substance. So this process is known as hydrogenation. So when ethene will react with hydrogen, it will react in the presence of nickel and platinum at about 200 degrees Celsius, and it will form ethane. So it is ethane. Now similarly, ethyne will react with hydrogen in the presence of catalyst nickel or platinum, and it will form again ethane. Now vegetable oil. So vegetable oils also react with hydrogen in the presence of nickel at 200 degrees Celsius, and it will give you solid fat, which is also known as vanaspati ghee. So the solid fat is the product of the hydrogenation of vegetable oils. So if the hydrogenation of vegetable oils take place, you will get solid fat, which is used in various food articles. Now the next is test for hydrogen. So there are not so many tests for hydrogen. So the question is, how do we recognize hydrogen? So you can take a few tests for hydrogen. For example, it is neutral to the litmus, but the problem is there are so many other gases which are neutral to the litmus. For example, water vapor is neutral to litmus, oxygen is neutral to litmus. So litmus paper will not give the exact result that it is hydrogen. We know that hydrogen does not support combustion, so it is non-supporter of combustion, as well as it is colorless, odorless and non-poisonous and tasteless gas. So there are few properties of hydrogen, but again these properties are similar in other gases. So there is one unique property of hydrogen, that is whenever the combustion of hydrogen takes place, because you know that hydrogen is highly flammable. So whenever the combustion of hydrogen takes place, whenever the hydrogen is burned in air, it burns with a pale blue flame with pop sound. So if the gas burns with a pale blue flame and makes a pop sound, a different unique sound, then it means it is hydrogen gas. So this is the best test for hydrogen gas. Now the next is uses of hydrogen. So there are so many uses of hydrogen, like in manufacture of ammonia. So this process is known as Haber's process. So in Haber's process, hydrogen is used for manufacture of ammonia, and ammonia is very useful gas. It is used to make the fertilizers. Now hydrogen also has more uses, like for the manufacture of solid fat. So you can prepare solid fat from vegetable oils with the help of hydrogen. So it is also used for making solid fats. Then it is also used in space programming as a fuel with liquid oxygen. So liquid hydrogen is generally used with liquid oxygen for rocket fuels in space programming. Then it is also used in oxyhydrogen torch for gas welding. It can also be used in manufacture of many other compounds like HCl or CS3OH, HCl that is hydrogen chloride, or CS3OH that is methanol, etc. And one more use of hydrogen, that is it is used as reducing agent. So in the next lecture we will discuss the meaning of oxidation, reduction, oxidizing agent and reducing agent. So there we will understand what is the meaning of reducing agent and why hydrogen is a very good reducing agent. So this is all in this lecture. If you have any queries regarding this lecture, you can ask your questions in comment box. Thank you very much.